Hey fellas, again this is Kirby and you're watching Kirby Q. I'm with Jason Lampy of Colonial Embers, and today he's going to be sharing us one of his salmon recipes, smoked salmon recipes, and let's check him out and see what he got to share with us today.
So what we have here is a 3.5 pound salmon side that I've filleted out. Last night I put this into a brine of apple juice, soy sauce, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne, bay leaf, and some brown sugar. And I let that brine for about 16 hours. And about 2 hours ago I took it out of the brine, dried it off, and what it's doing right now is it's drying so that it'll form a nice pellicle on the top. And that's that sticky film that you get on the top of a piece of protein that's going to let that smoke adhere to the outside of the protein. It's going to sit like this for about 4 to 5 hours. Then we're going to throw it on the smoker at about 225 for about 2 hours. And what you're looking for this salmon to do is to really just kind of flake apart. And this is not going to be, a dinner entree kind of salmon. It's going to be very flavorful, and it's not going to be the kind of salmon you could eat a whole fillet of, but it's great with the cream cheese and dill mixture. It's great on a crostini. It's great as a dip with a little bit of mayonnaise and dill and salt. And it's great cold, it's great hot, and honestly I think it's better the next day. After it sits in the fridge, it kind of, some of the oils and stuff really come out to the surface of the meat, and you get a really good, salmon, smoky, kind of, soy flavor to the fish. This is actually a farm-raised salmon, and I've done it with both fresh caught, wild caught, farm-raised, and I find that the farm-raised salmon actually works a lot better because it's penned up for most of its life. It kind of floats around and eats a lot, and it doesn't have to work nearly as hard, so you find that the fish is a little bit fattier, and fat's a lot of flavor. So as much as I would like to use a farm or a fresh caught wild fish, I do find that the farm-raised salmon does work better for a final product.
Okay. All right. So what's the next step after you brined it and you go ahead and throw it on a smoker?
So yeah, so we're going to put this on the smoker on the WSM for about 2 hours at 225 degrees. We're going to use a mixture of cherry and pecan. And usually it's about 2 hours. We'll start to take a peek at it. Some of these pieces are a little bit thinner, some are a little bit thicker. We'll pull some of these thinner pieces off. Once they're done, we'll let the thicker ones go a little bit longer. Let it sit for maybe 30-40 minutes before you eat it, and then, like I said, it's good warm, it's good hot, it's good cold, it's good the next day. It's really, you can't mess it up. We've had it with scrambled eggs in the morning. We've had it as a dip. We've had it as an appetizer. It's really a good all-around, kind of side dish appetizer.
Okay. All right. So we're going. So that's the first step of the prep. So we'll check him out later when he gets it on the smoker, and stay tuned. All right, fellas. That is the salmon. It's been about 2 hours since the last scene, and he's now about to place the salmon on the smoker.
So you can see we've got a nice clean smoke coming out here. We got a mixture of pecan and cherry. We're at a nice 225, holding steady with our blower. So we'll go ahead and throw the salmon on now. It's going to smoke at 225 for about 2 hours. We'll come back and check a little before that because, as you can see, we got some bigger pieces and some smaller pieces. So we'll go ahead and throw this on. And that's it. We'll let it go for about 2 hours.
All right, 2 hours. All right, see you guys in a few.
All right, so we got the finished product here. This has been on the cooker for about 2 hours. You can see it's got a nice dark color. It's hot.
Let's zoom in on that fella.
So some of the best pieces that you're going to find are right here at the edge. And you can see how this stuff just flakes apart. And wow, you've really got a juicy, kind of fatty, unctuous, you kind of get that umami flavor from this piece of salmon. So you took this from just a typical farm raised, piece of salmon fillet that you could cook on the grill to now a smoked salmon with a real depth of flavor that you could eat this just as it is right now. You could turn this into a salmon dip or an appetizer, incorporate this into another dish, whatever you really want to do. So I'd let it sit for about 30 minutes. Let it, like any piece of protein, just kind of let it sit. It's really great the next day, even cold. It's not bad. But at this point, this is kind of the jumping off point, to eat it like it is or incorporate that into another recipe. But you got a really nice smoked salmon recipe right here.
Oh man, so we just let it rest for like 30 minutes and then we can dig in?
Yeah, like any other protein.
All right.
You want to let it rest, and
all right.
After that, go for it.
All right, well, thanks to the magic of TV, the next time y'all see us, it'll be 30 minutes past has elapsed, and we'll be digging into this. All right, fellas, stay tuned for the taste test. Okay.
All right, so we got the finished product here. You see, we got some nice fillets here with some nice color, and like you saw in the previous video, when you do this right, these will just kind of flake apart, and they really will kind of tear apart on the lines of the protein. So where the fat lines were before, they'll just kind of flake apart. And what we have over here is this is kind of the shredded version of that. And you can take this and turn it into, add some mayonnaise and some dill, and you've got a nice dip. You could take this and put it with some cream cheese and a crostini, and you've got a nice appetizer. There's really a lot of things you can do with the smoked salmon at this point. What we're going to do for breakfast in the morning is, chill it and put it on bagels with some cream cheese. So you kind of got your spin on lox and bagels. The one thing I'll mention is this is just farm-raised salmon that we purchased at Costco, but you could get this at any grocery store, any supplier. We have better luck with the farm-raised stuff just because it's a little bit fattier. But this is our smoked salmon recipe. I hope you guys like it.
So, Jason, earlier you was telling me about the peckle on it. Go ahead and tell the guys about the sheen that develops on it. I thought there was some pretty good info that you were sharing.
So one thing that happens when you brine a fish like this is that when you take it out of the brine and you rinse it off and you get it dry, it forms a pellicle, and it's kind of the sticky film that coats the protein. You would never want to smoke this fish or any fish wet or moist because it's just going to kind of turn into mush. You really want to let it dry. For this specific recipe, the preferable drying time is about 4 to 6 hours. This one dried for about 4.5. And what that allows it to do is that when it smokes, it actually will break down based on the lines that you see on the protein. If you were to smoke this wet, it would just kind of disintegrate and turn into a fibrous kind of mesh, mush. And it's not going to taste very good. It's not going to have a very good mouthfeel. So you really want to let it dry properly. You don't want to rush this. So brine it for 16 hours. Let it dry out on the counter. We're fortunate to be out here with a nice breeze, so it dried a little bit quicker. But on the countertop, about 4 to 6 hours is really going to give you a nice sticky pellicle that you're going to find on the surface of the protein, and it's going to get the internal meat dry enough to where you can smoke it, and it's going to give you a good final product.
And let me tell you, we've sampled this already, and it is absolutely fabulous. You guys have got to try this recipe when you get a chance. Once again, this is Colonial Embers competition team. There's Brine and his lovely bride, Sarah, Jason, Kelly. Hey, and I'm Kirby, and this is Kirby Q. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a blessed evening, and don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up this video, share it, and check out their catering site and their Facebook page, Colonial Embers. God bless.
Thank you.
Hi, y'all.
Bye.